Ah, vous avez trouvé la solution quand même? C'est quoi qui se passe?
Ah, okay. I'm going to present in English because my French isn't that great. My name is Mara. I'm from the University of Gand in Belgium. And I'm going to talk about my ongoing research for my master thesis, understanding the complex lives of women with a drug addiction. Women with a drug addiction often face a lot of challenges throughout their lives, which is already discussed today. Challenges like abuse, stigmatization, living in debt, living in the streets, and so on. In literature, we often find statistics reporting on these problems, but a lot of the time, the experience of these women themselves are missing. So with my thesis, I am trying to go in depth and really try to understand the women and how drug abuse affected their lives. My participants are 3 women, 2 of 45 coincidentally, and 1 is 27. All 3 of them are in a period of their lives in which they are clean. They all are close by or have completed a therapeutic community program. And I will try to go in depth with them by conducting 3 to 4 interviews. The first time around, I asked them to draw me a lifeline and tell me their life story, which already gave me some interesting insights, which I will try to discuss today. I will present to you my insights by telling you about some tipping points. Tipping points are periods in time after which their lives changed. The first tipping point is troubled youth. All of the women I have interviewed tell me about their youth in a very negative way. None of them had positive experiences growing up, and all of them started using drugs sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. At a young age. All of them started using drugs before the age of 16. One of them was as young as 12, so they all started using drugs because they had not much good experiences in their youth. The next tipping point, which was really clear on, is the death of a loved one. One woman told me about the death of her grandmother when she was 15. The grandmother was the only person who really cared for her, so after her grandmother died, the woman really started abusing drugs, and everything became very difficult for her. Another woman told me about the death of her mother. It was the reason why she started using drugs while she was pregnant, because her mother died. Everything became very difficult for her. Relationships are, as often reported in literature, a real true tipping point. Relationships for women with a drug addiction often are with men with a drug addiction, and are often a reason why women start abusing drugs more or start using drugs. For example, one of my participants told me about the first time she did drugs. She was 15 years old, her boyfriend was a heroin addict, and she started using heroin straight away because she wanted to feel loved, which she missed in her youth. So it was a clear reason why she started her drug addiction. The last period the last tipping point is a dark period, and for me it's the most significant one. All of the women described a dark period in time just before they entered the therapeutic community. It was a really difficult period for them, and I will give you some quotes. My life the past years, it wasn't living, it was trying to survive. One of the women told me about living in the streets, having lost everything, had to give up the custody over her son, and then her partner stabbed her. So it was a really dark time, but for her it was also the reason why she went to go and get treatment. The next woman had an incident in which she lost the custody over her children. The moment you've lost everything, for me it was a chance to finally let myself be held. She looks at the incident in with very mixed feelings, because she went and go get treatment, which is something positive for her, but she really lost the custody of her children and still has not got them back. conclusion, I hope I have presented shortly why I think experience of women with a drug addiction are important also in research, and why I choose to make this my master's thesis. Thank you.